Welcome to Module 4, Lesson 14. Today we're going to be doing some more work with multiplying fractions by fractions. Our first problem here says Jan had 3/5 pan of Rice Krispie Treats. She sent 1/3 of them to school. What fraction of the whole pan did she send to school? So if we could visualize this, here are my 3/5 of a pan of Rice Krispie Treats. I have cut into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, and I have 3 of them. There's 3/5. She's sending 1/3 of them to school. So for that, I need to break what I have into thirds, and there it is into thirds. But I'm going to continue all the way across the whole pan. So I started with my 3/5 there, and I'm taking 1/3 of them, which is right here. So I have 3 pieces. I have 3, but what are they? Well, they are 15ths now, because I've broken my pan into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have 3 rows of that. 3 rows of 5 are 15. Arithmetically, I can look at this as I have 1/3 of 3/5, or 1/3 of 3/5, and 1/3 of 3/5, of course, is 1/5, which if I reduce this, that's what I would get there. Yet another way to look at this is I have 1/3 of 3/5, and 1 times 3 on the top is 3, and 3 times 5 on the denominator is 15, and I get my 3/15ths, or 1/5, again and again and again. So the answer to this problem is that she would send 1/5 of a pan of Rice Krispie Treats to school. Here's another problem. We have 1/2 of 4/5. So if I were to draw that, and I want to take half of 4/5, so I need fifths. And in this case, I have 4/5 here, so I'm going to cross hatch that in. There's my 4/5. And I want to take half of that. So that is 1/2 of 4/5, which of course if I have 4 of something and I take half of it, it's 2 of that something. So that's going to be equal to 2/5. Now I'm going to, on my drawing here, I'm going to cut that into halves here, just like so. Whoops, gotta get my pen. Just like so. And so now instead of having fifths, I have tenths. And if I took half of them is going to be 4 of those tenths. So, of course, 4/10 is equivalent to 2/5. We just need to divide top and bottom by 2. So one more way to do this arithmetically, if I have 1/2 of 4/5, that's the 1 times 4 in the numerator, and 2 times 5 in the denominator, and I'm going to get 4/10, which of course simplifies to 2/5. Here's a nice word problem. 3/4 of Benjamin's garden is vegetables. Carrots are planted in half of his vegetable section of the garden. How much of Benjamin's garden is planted in carrots? So we're taking half of 3/4 of the garden. So, if this is my whole garden, and 3/4 of it are vegetables, this is all vegetables. And I want to take a half of the vegetable section. There it is, there's a half, and I'll go all the way across the whole garden. Well, you can see that now I have eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And of those 8 pieces, half are going to be 3 pieces. So the answer is going to be 3/8 here. Well, we can do this arithmetically. We have 1/2 of 3/4 of the garden is 1 times 3 over 2 times 4. And 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 4 is 8, and I get the same answer. 3/8 of his garden is carrots. For this last example, we're going to use a bar model or tape diagram. Mr. Becker, the gym teacher, uses 3/5 of his kickballs in class. Half of the remaining balls are given to students for recess. What fraction of the kickballs is given to the students for recess? So if I had my tape diagram and we want to look at what 3/5 of the balls were used for, that was for gym. And this is what is remaining. And of course, if that's what's remaining, this would be half of the remaining, which happens to be 1/5 of the original number of kickballs. So what fraction of the kickballs is given to students for recess? 1/5 is given to them for recess. And that's the end of the lesson.